Hello and welcome to this year's review of the London Palladium's pantomime Sleeping Beauty, playing until Sunday the 11th of January. Celebrating 10 years since pantomime's triumphant return to the Palladium, this is a lavish and high-budget variety show featuring some of pantomime's biggest stars, boldest laughs and most spectacular set pieces, though is perhaps showing signs of a format starting to wear thin. The show opens assertively with a reworked version of Bobby Crush's A Place Where There Is Love, which features as a recurring motif throughout the production. Rob Madge bursts onto stage as the Diva of Dreams, joyfully welcoming the audience and singing a medley, 10 Magic Years at the London Palladium. Running through the previous pantomimes, the audience are treated to Cinderella's dress transformation, the giant from Jack and the Beanstalk, the huge crocodile from Peter Pan, and Nigel Havers in a really funny rat costume in this spectacular 5-minute opening number. A screen then comes down showcasing Julian Clary's best innuendos from the last decade. Now, I'm a little bit mixed on this. On the one hand, these gags are obviously hilarious and warm the audience up nicely. However, should 5 minutes have been allocated to watching a screen essentially replaying the past, arguably showing even better jokes from even better past productions? I'm not so sure. Anyway, this leads into Julian Clary's grand entrance, in which, surrounded by the 16-piece ensemble, he sings a humorous reworking of I Wanna Be Like You from The Jungle Book. King of the double entendre, Julian Clary plays King Julian and is, as always, hilarious in his performance, delivering his usual tsunami of smut, referring to a Guardian review of 2016 Cinderella, which the show enjoys poking fun at. He does some great crowd work, amusingly lambasting the audience and pointing out the difficulty of finding children in the crowd. Upon finding one, he lobs a sweet at them, quipping, "That fulfills my contractual obligation." The Palladium pantomime undeniably straddles the line of being an adult production. The annual show has a well-established reputation, with adoring audiences returning year after year knowing exactly what to expect. However, it appears that some unsuspecting families don't. Indeed, a family with young children was seated next to me, the young boy audibly declaring this isn't funny during one of Clary's bits, before asking his uncomfortable father to explain certain jokes. Their only real enjoyment came from the dance numbers and Paul Zerdan's puppetry. There have been numerous articles this year reporting walkouts, and while I acknowledge that innuendo has always been a defining feature of this annual pantomime, what do you expect from Julian Clary? It's seemingly less subtle than ever, and I question if it's time to make this clearer in the show's marketing. Anyway, I personally find it hilarious, and Clary is on top form, berating Nigel Havers, mispronouncing his daughter Princess Aurora's name, mocking Prince Peter's Geordie accent, and never entering the stage twice in the same spectacular frock. Outrageously dazzling outfits designed by Hugh Durrant. This year's top billing is Catherine Tate playing Queen Carabosse, and she's superb in the role, commanding the stage with immense presence and clearly relishing playing the villain. Much to the audience's delight, she reprises her Derek character in Act 1 and then Nan in Act 2, featuring a brilliant Don't Stop Me Now number surrounded by 16 dancing Nans, which proved a genuine show standout. Tate is a great fit, responding confidently to hecklers and delivering her famous "Am I Bothered" at the end of the show. Another brilliant moment was the Pheasant Plucker tongue twister skit, which got some of the show's biggest laughs, culminating in her asking Clary for help with her lines, which was a really amusing moment. Paul Zerdan is back, this year as the Great Zerdini, alongside sidekick Sam. One of the world's top ventriloquists, Zerdan's act remains similar to previous years, but he continues to get big laughs and has cross-generational appeal. The human dummy skit with a couple from the audience featuring moving mouth masks was a good bit of fun before the show's finale walkdown. We'd still love to see another of his puppets featured, such as Albert or Baby, but also understand the desire to save these for his regional tour. New to the lineup this year is John Coleshaw playing King Julian's private detective, offering an array of clever impressions including King Charles and Keir Starmer. A laugh out loud moment seeing him sing "I'm So Excited" in Starmer's monotone voice. He accompanies Zerdan in a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire skit, impersonating Tarrant and Clarkson, but his most memorable moment has to be his Donald Trump impression. In full dress, he struts on stage accompanied by a chorus of boos and delivers some great political satire. Towards the end of the show, he performs opposite Clary, mimicking his voice and attire, making for an amusing scene. Nigel Havers is, as always, his charming and endearing self. The butt of many of Clary's jokes, he is a good sport, this year playing the keeper of the privy. Highlight scenes include being Zerdan's glamorous assistant Annette in a magic skit, and a sweet duet alongside Clary singing an altered rendition of Friends from Shocked. We're shown a genius spoof video of Havers recreating Rachel Zegler singing on the Palladium's balcony. And he partakes in the classic 12 Days of Christmas routine, which is executed tremendously with plenty of rehearsed slip-ups and fake corpses. Rob Madge returns in their fourth Palladium endeavour, seemingly the only one keeping any shred of plot together in a series of fourth wall-breaking musical interludes. Madge oozes musical theatre and is a joyous and uplifting presence in the production, although feels rather detached from the rest of the proceedings. Emily Lane plays Princess Aurora and Monique Malasso is Prince Peter. These two look the part, have amazing voices and are great sports, but have deliberately non-existent chemistry, with Madge waving their wand and summoning them to fall in love. Now, I miss the love ballad and the usual innocence of that dynamic, which I think would have given this production more heart, as Richmond's Cinderella excelled in this year. The Palladium 16-piece ensemble have been mentioned throughout this review and were as ever fantastically versatile. Their main feature is a slightly random Splish Splash I Was Taking a Bath number, in which scantily dressed they enthusiastically dance with exercise balls. Sleeping Beauty has some great spectacle, most notably a fire juggling scene performed by Dave Knox, in which all the spinning wheels in the land are burnt, as well as Act 1's close akin to the Beanstalk a few years back, which sees inflatable thorns engulf the auditorium to protect Sleeping Beauty as she sleeps. This was truly a magical and awe-inducing moment. Throughout the show we get much pyro, confetti cannons and even bubbles. Now what I will say is the Palladium pantomime's plot has never been more redundant, Michael Harrison's script making a continuous point of reminding the audience this. I wonder how sustainable this kind of hyper self-aware tone is in the long run. As said by Julian Clary,
"It's wearing a little thin."
Whilst no one attends pantomime for its plot, I think it's still important that the Palladium provides a coherent story, if only to give structure and purpose to the variety acts. When most of the audience return year on year, the whole "we've got no story" thing will inevitably become tiresome, and so I hope somewhat of a reset is planned for next year. Harrison's direction is as always punchy and pithy, maximising laughs at every opportunity in this fast-paced type production. The returning creative team, including Gary Hines' compositions, Mark Walters' set design, Ben Cracknell's lighting and Karen Bruce's choreography, once again excel across the board. Whilst I have my critiques of this show and prefer previous productions such as Jack and the Beanstalk, the Palladium pantomime remains an extraordinary union of brilliant stars, direction, costumes, set, effects, music and lighting. Sleeping Beauty is an outstanding night out in the West End, delivered by an experienced team who know how to dazzle an audience in one moment and make them roar with laughter in the next. Don't sleep on booking your tickets to what is undoubtedly one of the country's best pantomimes. I give the London Palladium's 2025 pantomime Sleeping Beauty a 4-star rating.